the Lost Book of Enki. The words of the Lord Enki. Synopsis of the first tablet. Lamentation over the desolation of Sumer. How the gods fled their cities as the nuclear clouds spread. The debates in the council of the gods. The fateful decision to unleash their weapons of terror. The origin of the gods and the awesome weapons on Nibiru. Nibiru's north-south wars, unification, and dynastic rules. Nibiru's place in the solar system. A dwindling atmosphere causes climate changes. Efforts to obtain gold to shield the atmosphere fail. Elelu, a usurper, uses nuclear weapons to stir volcanic gases. Anu, a dynastic heir, deposes Elelu. Elelu steals a spacecraft and escapes from Nibiru.
The first tablet. The words of the Lord Enki, firstborn son of Anu, who reigns on Nibiru. With heavy spirit I utter laments, laments that are bitter fill my heart. How smitten is the land, its people delivered to the evil wind, its stables abandoned, its sheepfolds emptied. How smitten are the cities, their people piled up as dead corpses, conflicted by evil wind. How smitten are the fields, their vegetation withered, touched by the evil wind. How smitten are the rivers, nothing swims anymore, pure sparkling waters turn into poison. Of its black-headed people, Sumer is emptied. Gone is all life. Of its cattle and sheep, Sumer is empty. Silent is the hum of churning milk. In its glorious cities, only the wind howls. Death is the only smell. The temple whose heads to heavens arose by their gods have been abandoned. Of lordship and kingship command there is none. Scepter and tiara are gone. On the banks of the two great rivers, one lush and life-giving, only weeds grow. No one treads the highways, no one seeks out the roads. Flourishing Sumer is like an abandoned desert. How smitten is the land, home of gods and men. On that land a calamity fell, one unknown to man, a calamity that mankind has never before seen, one that could not be withstood. On all the lands from west to east a disruptive hand of terror was placed. The gods in their cities were helpless as them. An evil wind, a storm born in a distant plain, a great calamity wrought in its path. A death-dealing wind born in the west its way to the east has made. Its course set by fate, a storm devouring as the deluge. By wind and not by water, a destroyer. By poison air, not tidal waves, overwhelming. By fate, not destiny was it engendered. The great gods and their council, the great calamity had a cause. By Enlil and Ninharsag was permitted. I alone for a hope was beseeching. Day and night to accept what the heavens decree I argued, to no avail. Ninurtha, Enlil's warrior son, and Nargo, my very own son, poison weapons in the great plain then unleashed. That an evil wind shall follow the brilliance we knew not. They now cry in agony that the death-dealing storm born in the west its course to the east shall make. Who could foretell? The gods now bemoan. In the holy cities the gods stood disbelieving as the evil wind toward Sumer made its way. One after another the gods fled their cities, their temples, abandoned to the wind. In my city, Eridu, as the poison cloud approached, I could do nothing to stop it. Escape to the open steppe. To the people I gave instructions with Ninki, my spouse, the city abandoned. In his city, Nippur, place of the bond heaven earth, Enlil could do nothing to stop it. The evil wind against Nippur was onrushing. In his celestial boat, Enlil and his spouse hurried took off. In Sumer's city of kingship, Ninar to his father Enlil for help cried. In the place of the temple that to heaven in 7 steps rises, Ninar, the hand of fate, refused to heed. My father who begot me, great God, who to had granted kingship, turn the evil wind away, Ninar pleaded. Great God who decrees the fate, let and his people be spared. Your praises to continue, Ninar appealed. Enlil answered his son Ninar, noble son, your wondrous city kingship was granted. Eternal reign it was not granted. Take hold of your spouse, Ningal. Flee the city. Even who decrees fates is destiny I cannot bend. Thus did Enlil, my brother, speak. Alas, not a destiny it was, a calamity none greater since the deluge gods and earthlings had befallen. Alas, not a destiny it was. The great deluge was destined to happen. The great calamity of the death-dealing storm was not. By the breach of a vow, by a council decision it was caused. By weapons of terror was it created. By a decision, not destiny, were the poison weapons unleashed. By deliberation was the lot cast. Against Marduk, my firstborn, did the two sons destruction direct. Vengeance was in their hearts. Ascendancy is not Marduk's to grasp. Enlil's firstborn shouted, with weapons I shall oppose him, Ninurta said. Of people he raised an army. But Bali, as earth's enabled to declare, Nergal, Marduk's brother, so shouted. In the council of the great gods, words of venom were spread. Day and night I raised my opposing voice. Peace counseled, deploring haste for the second time the people have raised his heavenly image. Why does opposing continue? I asked in pleading. Have all the instruments been checked? Did not the era of Marduk in the heaven arrive? I once more inquired. Ningish Zeta, my very son, other signs of heaven cited. His heart I knew. Marduk's injustice to him could not forgive. Ninartenlil on earth born was unrelenting too. Marduk, my temple in the north city, his own abode made. So he said, Ishkur, Enlil's youngest, punishment demanded in my lands to whore after him the people he made, he said. Utu, son of Ninar, at Marduk's son Nabu, his wrath directed. The place of the celestial chariots he tried to seize. Inanna, twin of Utu, was fierce of all, the punishment of Marduk for the killing of her beloved Dumuzi. She still demanded. Then Harsag, mother of gods and men, her gaze diverted. Why is not Marduk here, she only said. Gibel, my own son, with gloom replied, Marduk has all entries put aside. By the signs of heaven, his supremacy he claims. Only with weapons will Marduk be stopped, Ninurta, Enlil's firstborn shouted. Utu, about protecting the place of the celestial chariots, was concerned. In Marduk's hands it must not fall, so he said. Nergal, lord of the lower domain, ferociously was demanding, let the olden weapon of terror for obliteration be used. At my own son I gaze in disbelief, for brother against brother the terror weapon had been forsworn. Instead of consent, there was silence. In the silence Enlil opened his mouth, punishment there must be, like birds without wings that evildoers shall be. Marduk, the Nabu, us of heritage are depriving, let them of the place of the celestial chariots be deprived. Let the place be scorched to oblivion. Ninurta shouted, the one who scorches let me be. Excited, Nergal stood up and shouted, let the evildoers' cities also be upheavaled. The sinning cities let me obliterate. Let the annihilator my name thereafter be. The earthlings by us created must not be harmed. The righteous with the sinners must not be perished. I forcibly say, Ninharsag, my creating helpmate, was consenting. The matter is between the gods alone to settle. The people must not be harmed. Anu from the celestial abode to the discussions was giving much heed. Anu who determines fate from his celestial abode, his voice made heard. Let the weapons of terror be this once used. Let the place of the rocket ships be obliterated. Let the people be spared. Let Ninurta the scorcher be. Let Nargal be the annihilator. So did Enlil the decision announce. To them a secret of the gods I shall reveal. The hiding place of the terror weapons to them I shall disclose. The two sons, one mine, one his, to his inner chamber Enlil summoned. Nergal, as he went by me, his gaze averted. Alas, I cried out without words, brother has turned against brother. Are the prior times fated to repeat? A secret from the olden times to them Enlil was revealing, the weapons of terror to their hands entrusting. Clad with terror, with a brilliance they are unleashed. All they touch to a dust heap they turn. For brother against brother on earth they were forsworn, neither region to affect. Now the oath was undone, like a broken jar, in useless pieces. The two sons, full of glee, with quickened step from Enlil's chamber emerged, for the weapons departed. The other gods turned back to their cities. None of his own calamity had a foreboding. Now this is the account of the prior times and of the weapons of terror.